Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Loputu Sri Aryani, the presenter from Bali, Indonesia. Today, I would like to present my paper entitled Bali Adnyana versus Suryakanta, Balinese Culture Dynamics Perspective. I'm making this paper with my team, Ms. Tuti Mariati and Mr. Nengah Bawa at Maja. Okay, please give me permission to share my slide. Yeah, as I mentioned before, the topic that I take in this session is Bali Adnyana versus Suryakanta, Balinese Culture Dynamics Perspective. In Balinese Hindu society, there are 4 levels of caste we know in Bali, such as Sudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Brahmana. Caste relations were very tight at the ancient time. The Shudras, as the lowest caste, are often treated differently from the other 3 castes. But when the Dutch government took control of Bali, the caste level was a bit loose. The relationship between caste, which was originally full of strong exploitation, is getting weaker. We can say here that the Dutch government has Westernization mission in the field of politics, economy, religion, and education. Westernization in the field of education was carried out by establishing various forms and types of Western style of schools. It was started in North Bali. Yeah, the capital of North Bali is at that time was Singaraja. And this Westernization of education was starting there in the form of building an elementary level of school until to the top level of education in the royal capital, as I mentioned before, in Singaraja city. But although the Westernization of education was initially only intended for the 3 castes, such as Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Brahmana or Brahmin, but in the end, the Sudras, the lowest caste in Bali, got the opportunity to receive education, but especially in teacher education. Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay, this is, and then since the opportunity was already given by the Dutch, many Sudras people took the opportunity of Westernization of education, and many parents from Sudra's family send their children to go to the teacher school so that the intellectuals of the Sudra in Balinese, we call it as Jabatu, yeah. So that the intellectuals of Sudra dynasty teacher were born at that time, since the opportunity was given already to the Sudras. Why teacher school? Maybe people says that there is many public school, but why these Sudras people took or choose the teacher school? But at that time, teacher schools are very popular because first, the cost of the education is quite cheap, and it can be scholarship too. And then the second one, the output of teacher school, mostly getting a job. They must work after getting the school of teacher, because the teacher is much needed at that time, because in Bali at that time was very less in teacher. So the opportunity to become a teacher is open widely. And the third, the teacher's income is quite good, and this is good for the a better economical situation. Okay, and also at the same time, why the school, the teacher school is chosen by the Sudras? That's also they experience ex-social mobility, namely from farmer to small aristocrats, because at that time the Dutch government start hire the people from low education background, and beside that, the Sudras choose the teacher school is also because what is that called? They would like to open the social strata system on the basis of education obtained through the struggle. That's why the Sudras choose the teacher school. And the Sudra, in order to go to this level of education, they get it through the struggle. That is why we call this status as achieved status. It is if it is compared to the different three case, it is much different, because the three case getting this education because they also have it, and because from the intellectual, they remain as ascribed status. But even though these Sudras people also get the education same as the Triwangsa or the three other case, but education does not make the Sudras equal to Triwangsa. Yeah. We may say that along with the upward vertical social mobility, they also demand social reward, and this cannot be fulfilled by the Sudras. However, what Sudras hope was not fulfilled optimally, especially when they were dealing with the Triwangsa. Yeah. And the closed social stratification system in Bali as the basis of the dynasty, which relies on the ownership of cultural capital, cannot achieve by the Sudras. We may say that having better education as teacher did not make Sudras people have a better position. Teacher or from Sudras was not only low in status, yeah, in relation to the three castes, but also low in relation to other people like Chinese, Arabian, and the Dutch. So structurally, we may say that those who receive the most pressure from this stratification is the Sudras people. And this pressure can turn into the structural violence, like they or trade are not equal with the Triwangsa and the Chinese and also the Dutch. They also get the language violence, because in Bali, if we are from the different case, the level of our Balinese is also different. We know the stratification in language too. If our lower case speak to the higher case, we have to speak in a very polite way or level of language, of Balinese language. But oppositely, the higher case can speak unpolite to the lower case. That is why it is called language violence, and also symbolic violence too. Symbolic violence can be seen from the way of the ritual that is experienced in every case in Balinese. Also, this various form of violence cause them to experience relative deprivation, yeah, namely a mismatch between expectation and reality, so that they are trapped in social frustration. The Sudras people trapped in social frustration. This is due to the various knowledge possessed, and the relationship between fellow intellectuals make the Sudras think again. And this kind of knowledge make them to think, to make an improvement for themselves. In order to calm this problem, they try to carry out this construction. That is why, since they think about the improvement, these Sudras people start contacting among Sudras people to make an association, and it was called Suryakanta Association, which is a member comes from Sudras people. Yeah, and at that time, the Triwangsa people also developed the association, which name is Bali Adnyana Association. And this association is come first before the Suryakanta. Bali Adnyana was formed in 1924, and Suryakanta followed it in 1925. In order to overcome this problem, yeah, as I mentioned before, that Suryakanta carried out the construction. What is they constructed by the Sudras people? The construction is in the form of intellectual activity, such as dismantling the ideological and power assumption behind the text. The Sudras began to explore ancient manuscripts belong to Balinese and interpret the traditional more critically to counter the traditionalist Triwangsa or Trikes upper them. In order to intensively deconstruction, at the same time, put it into practice at the level of social context. The Sudras intellectuals, mostly teachers by profession, establish a forum. Yeah, as I mentioned before, they make a Suryakanta association. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Comparison of Suryakanta thought and Bali Adnyana ideas in many perspectives can be seen from the column I present in front of you. It can be seen the difference of the thought between Suryakanta and Bali Adnyana. We can see that sociocultural that thought that was wanted by the Suryakanta is a sociocultural change that lead to progress must be made quickly and drastically. And it is the opposite with Bali Adnyana, that social culture change are necessary, but gradually and evolutionary. It's evolution, yeah, it is very slow in growing. And the other perspective can be seen from the system. Yeah, the principle, the Surya Kanta is very stressing in equality, equalities, equal happiness, and absolute. But Bali Adnyana thinks that what Surya Kanta voice are not needed because it is a cultural heritage that's firmly inherent in Balinese society. So it is not easy to erase. That is the different thought between Surya Kanta and Bali Adnyana. As we know that Hindu religion culture, many things that are constructed by Surya Kanta Association. Beside of the four difference of thought I mentioned before, yeah, this Surya Kanta also they construct rituals that need textual adjustments, such as the ritual of cremation. In Bali, cremation, which are often used as an arena for exhibiting exhibited wealth, yeah, leading to empowerment, yeah. Ritual of cremation that is first meaning to liberate our parents of our elders, but it turns into the exhibition of wealth, and this would like to change by the Surya Kanta. Likewise, the caste system must be deconstructed too by Surya Kanta because it's not accordance with Hindu religious texts and human values. It is close to injustice. Yeah, the caste system also not provide impetus for the Balinese to pursue progress because they already feel proud of their high status. And this high social status usually inherited. It's a representation of traditional aristocrats. Yeah, and the progress. So what is needed is human who master science and technology. That's the thought of the Surya Kanta people. And because the conflict between this thought. For more conflict that we can see from the magazine they make. Every association, Surya Kanta has the magazine with the same name. Bali Adnyana Association also make a magazine with the same name, and in this magazine they can write every ideas, every mean of thinking by these two associations was written in this magazine. And the conflict between Surya Kanta and Bali Adnyana that can be found in the magazine is getting hotter from time to time, and is getting controversial among those community among the Balinese community. So because the issue is getting hotter and start making chaos in the community, the magazine belongs to Surya Kanta Association was closed by the Dutch in 1927. So this magazine only 2 years published for public. Yeah, so it was closed in 1927. While Bali Adnyana magazine was still running. Yeah, that is the difference. Yeah, the Dutch take position into Bali Adnyana. Yeah, I think that's that's enough for my presentation. What can be learned from this situation or from the Suryakanta movement is that this movement can be used as a school of moral for Balinese to improve various aspects of life in society. And the Suryakanta movement also has created many movements for progress in Bali, such as today's in Bali, there is a movement called Ajak Bali. Yeah, this current Ajak Bali is the Balinese response to the identity crisis faced by the Balinese in order to interact with the globalization. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time. I say thank you for your attention. I'll see you again next time. Thank you.